Welcome to Miss Ruskey's Word tutorial. For this particular tutorial, we will be focusing on Chapter 3, Chapter Assessment and Application, Project 60, Make It Your Own, page 334, and the file that you'll be using is WPROJ60A. And of course, we are working from the Pearson's book, which is titled Learning Microsoft Office 2010 Deluxe Edition. Okay, so let's get started. As you notice with the directions, one of the first places it tells you to start with is to place your full name and today's date in the header, which will be flush right. So it doesn't give us a built-in header that Word already has, so we're just going to make it kind of from scratch. And there's two ways that you can do it, and if you double-click right up here, this is a little bit of a shortcut that will get you to your header. And it already happens to be aligned right, but let's say if it wasn't, I could go back to my Home tab and I could choose if I wanted it to be left aligned, center aligned, or right aligned. So for this one, we'll keep it right aligned, and I will type my name in here and the current date. Okay, great. And so from there, what we can do is we can just exit out of there and we can click it like that. All right, next up, number 4 for the directions on page 334 is to apply the perspective style set and the horizon theme. So the way we're going to do that is come up here to change styles, and we're going to go to Style Set, and from there we're going to make sure it's perspective. As you notice, there's the different options that you have. It's a quick little preview of these, so we'll make sure it's perspective. And then we're going to choose the horizon theme, which will go to the Page Layout tab, Themes group, and then we'll click on Themes. And from there we'll look at it from the alphabetical order perspective it's in, and we'll choose Horizon. Okay, next up, we are going to apply the title style to the first line of text. So this is number 5. We'll select this. We'll go back to the Home tab into our Styles group because our Home tab is actually where most of our formatting is done. And so for this example, we're going to use title, which is right here. Okay, and we're also going to center align it, which looks like that. And then we are going to change the paragraph spacing to 30 points before and after. So I'm just going to click on this here, change that to 30, change this guy to 30. Okay, and you'll notice once I did that there was more space in between there, but I didn't change the line spacing option. Alright, so now we're going to format the first paragraph. Okay, this is number 6. We're going to format the first paragraph in 12-point Times New Roman font. And then we are going to set the line spacing to double. And then we're also going to apply a first line indent, which is in my paragraph group in the Home tab. And it'll go to Special. These two guys are hanging out there, your first line and your hanging. And so that automatically pops up as 0.5. And then we're going to set the paragraph spacing before and after to 0. So it's already set at 0 for before, and then we'll do the same for after. Alright, we're moving on to number 7. We're going to copy the formatting from the first paragraph to the rest of the paragraphs in the document. And so we have this quick little easy shortcut called Format Painter, so we don't have to do this over and over again. So I'm going to double click this, and then I'm just going to apply it to the rest of the document, right like that. And then I'll turn it off by clicking it again. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're on number 8. 8, 9, and 10 are actually doing the same thing, so I'll just show you real quickly how to do one of them, and then you will know what to do for the rest of them. Okay, so it says insert an endnote after the first sentence as follows. So this is our first sentence here. I'll go into my References tab, and then I'll choose Insert Endnote, and I'll just type the beginning of the item that it gives us in the book. So Bill Vick, how long will take me to a job? Okay, and then so on and so forth. You'll enter the rest of the information accordingly. And the same thing for numbers 9 and 10, just make sure it's in the correct spot. So now the next part, we're going to jump to number 11. It says insert page numbers in the center of the footer. So just like I showed you the shortcut for the header, you can do the same for the footer. I'm going to click here, and it says to put these page numbers in here. So I'm going to come here, and then we know that they're at the bottom of the page because it specifies that, and it also specifies that they're centered. So this one's left aligned and this one's centered. So we'll choose this. And now we're going to get out of the footer, and we're going to adjust our page margins if they need to be. And we'll be on our page layout tab. Makes sense, page margins, page layout. And now we'll click in our margins, and it's actually already set to moderate, and that's the one that it needs to be on, which is good. And now we're going to apply an in-margin drop cap to the first paragraph. Alright, so I'm clicked here. I have to go to my Insert tab. I'll go to my drop cap options, and if I was simply just going to use dropped or in margin, I could just pick them from here. But I have a little bit more of a specification, so I'm going to click drop cap options, and then it says in margin. It doesn't tell me to change my font, so I'll leave that alone, but it does tell me to drop my lines to only 2, so it should only drop 2 lines down. Okay, and we'll just hit OK for that, and notice what happens there when I click over it. So it's a little bit in the margin, as you can see. Over here it extends past that, and it drops down 2 lines, right like that. Okay, so next up we are going to be on number 14, and I'm going to select my title here. Alright, and from there I'm going to go back to my home group and go back into my, let's see, borders and shading. Looks like that little window here. And from here what I'm going to do, it specifies that I need to apply a solid line, which is right there, good. And then I'm going to change it to 2 1/4. And then I'm also going to make sure that it has a top and bottom border. So I'll click here and notice that's my little preview. Alright, and then the last part of this is to apply shading. So this tab is for borders. This deals with your page border. This is paragraph borders. And then your shading, it tells me to choose an teal accent 5 lighter 60%. So let's see where we are with that. Right there. And we'll hit OK. There, it's supposed to look like that. And from now we're on number 15. We are going to check out the document properties, and that's in your file tab, and you go over here to your properties options, and we'll show the document panel. And this is just something for you to use if you wanted to specify more information that relates to your particular document. It's helpful when you're searching things and organizing. So for instance, I'll just type the first one like you see in the book for number 15. It says, getting a job search started. Okay, just capitalize this here. And you would just fill out the rest of them as the directions instruct you. And now we're going to move on to number 16. Because I have a title page on here, we're not just going to click the word count, because it will also add those characters in there. So we'll select this right here. Okay, and what we see is we're going to check out our word count in the review tab in the proofing group, and we actually come in under 350 words, which is good. And then just by looking at the document, I don't see any outstanding errors except right here, but that's actually just a proper name, so we're not going to worry about that. That's okay, that's spelled correctly. And then we'll just save the document again, and we're all set.